Hello and welcome to the Environment This Week series section of Drishti IAS English. I am Aisha, and as we have started this concept and this is the second episode of the Environment This Week, what we will do is we will cover the most important news from the environment and ecology perspective which has happened or which has taken place in the last week, and going by the current event we will take you to the static portion of it, and in the end we will be discussing the practice questions with regard to those. Concepts. So let's begin today's episode. The news or the top news of the week which we will be discussing would be tamarin monkeys, climate finance taxonomy, carbon trading mechanism, National Tiger Conservation Authority, and the Wangari Maathai Forest Champions Award 2024. So these are the top 5 news that we have taken. So let's begin. And the first news that we will be discussing would be the tamarin monkey, the rare tamarin monkey. So the rare tamarin monkey came to the news because in a zoo in England, it was seen that the birth of the rare tamarin monkey has taken place, and this has brought the tamarin monkey to the news. So about the rare tamarin monkey, first let us look at the picture. This is how it looks like. It is very small in size and it has big fur. The fur color is of white or white. So about the rare tamarin monkey, so the rare tamarin monkey usually lives in a group of people which has around 3 to 13 individuals in it, and they are fascinating group of primates. They are very small in size, they are very agile in its behavior, and they are known for their social behavior. It means that the social behavior of the tamarin monkey is very known. And the weight of the tamarin monkey is 0.4 to 0.5 kg. It means that the weight is very less. Then length is 22 to 25 centimeter, and 22 to 25 centimeter is excluding the tail of the monkey. So this monkey is actually very small in size, and the weight is also not very much. Then the fur color is white and it is long and hairy in nature. And if we talk about the distribution of the tamarin monkey, then it is native of the tropical forest of northwestern Colombia, and the northwestern Colombia is a country which belongs to the South American continent. So if we talk about the Colombia country, then northwestern Colombia. So it is native to the northwestern Colombia, but they prefer to live in the low-lying rainforest. Native is tropical forest of northwestern Colombia, but they prefer to live in low-lying rainforests. Then about the social structure, then they are highly social animal, and they live in a family group, as I told you, around 3 to 13 members, and they basically have the breeding pair and the other family member or the offsprings. Then they communicate through vocalizations and body language. So when they talk to each other or when they communicate with each other, it is through vocalization. It means different type of sounds is what they make, and the body language is how they connect to each other. Then if we talk about the diet of the tamarin monkeys, then they are omnivorous in nature. So they are omnivorous in nature. They eat flesh and fruits. So fruits, flowers, insects, small vertebrates, and they have strong jaws, and the teeth is also very sharp in nature. If we talk about the reproduction, then reproduction usually happen one time in a year, but when it comes to the offspring, then twins are very common. Then if we talk about the conservation status, and the conservation status is what makes the tamarin monkey very special and rare, because the conservation status is critically endangered. It means that the conservation status of the tamarin monkey demands its protection. Then they are attractive and important species. Next comes the topic of the climate finance taxonomy, and this concept of climate finance taxonomy came to the news because it was discussed in the budget 2024 and becomes very important from the exam respect, because something which is said in the budget can be asked. Then what is climate finance taxonomy? So climate finance taxonomy is a system that classifies and defines what type of investments and economic activities can be considered sustainable or environmental friendly. So what are the activities or what are the investments that a company or a country makes, and that investment and that activity will be considered sustainable. Sustainable means done something which is not compromising with the needs of the future, and it is environmental friendly. It means that a taxonomy would be set up. Then it will help identify the projects or the activities which will contribute positively to addressing climate change and which do not. So which activity is considered positive for bringing the climate change and which is not positive for towards the climate change. So this taxonomy would be deciding it, or through this taxonomy help will be given to decide on the investment and the projects. So this is basically, this climate finance taxonomy is basically to see whether any kind of investment or any kind of activity is good for the environment or not. Then what is its importance? And then the importance is, first with regard to the investment. So this will help investors and banks know which projects are green and sustainable in nature, so they can put their money into those things which will actually help the environment. While on the other hand, there is a concept of greenwashing also, which many a times misleads the companies and the countries also. So this will help the investors and the banks. Second is reduces confusion. It will clarify what counts as a green investment and the green project, and this will help in moving people or countries away from the false claims. Like for example, again, greenwashing. Now what happens in a greenwashing is that the companies or the corporates, they tend to project that the procedure that they have followed is positive from the environment point of view, and then through that they tend to take advantage in terms of tax advantages, or they use it in their CSR activities, but that is actually not helping the environment in the positive way. So this will help in reducing the false claims. Next comes attract financing. Attract financing is what kind of investment are consistent with the climate goals, and this will help to attract more money from sources. So the investments which are consistent with the climate goals. So if any country, like for example, India has a goal of becoming carbon neutral by the year 2070. So if any kind of project or any kind of activity will be helpful in contributing towards achieving India's goal of becoming carbon neutral by 2070, so that will be helpful. Next comes support climate goals. So this will help in reducing greenhouse gases and sustainability fund towards projects promoting countries to meet their climate goals. So this will also help the countries in meeting their climate goals, and as of now every country is setting up their own climate goals. Now India's climate commitments. What does India talk about, or what does India commit for their future? Then achieving the net zero economy. The net zero economy by the year 2070. Then reducing emissions intensity of GDP by 45% by the year 2030. So it is as compared to the 2005 level. So as compared to the 2005 level, the carbon intensity of the GDP will be reduced by 45%, and the target year is 2030. Then to achieve 50%, of electric power installed capacity from non-fossil fuel sources by the year 2030. So the target year is 2030, and that is non-fossil fuel sources. So fossil fuel sources is not there, like for example solar energy, geothermal energy, etc. Next comes the topic of carbon trading mechanism. Now what is carbon trading mechanism? So recently a deal is being talked about between India and Japan with regard to the carbon trading mechanism, or setting up the carbon trading mechanism. Now what is carbon trading mechanism? It is a way to reduce greenhouse gases emissions. So a concept or a way through which the greenhouse gases emissions will be reduced. Greenhouse gases like for example carbon dioxide, CO2, then CH4 that is methane, the CFCs that is the chlorofluorocarbon, nitrous oxide, etc. So how it will be reduced? Then under this, companies or countries are allowed to buy or sell permits. So certain permits will be provided to the countries, and these permits can be sell or buy in the international market. and this will allow them to emit a certain amount of carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases. Now what will happen is, under this concept, a permit will be given, and under this permit a limit will be set up for countries. So that limit, that this much greenhouse gases emissions these countries can do, and those permit can be very well, these permits are very well tradable in the international market. So if any country produces more than the given permit, it can take the permit from the country which has used or which has done less carbon emissions. So that can be traded in the international market, and a business can also be done out of it. Then what is the procedure? First of all is the emission limit. So governments can reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that can be emitted, set a limit on the total quantity of emissions. So a limit will be set up on how much quantity of carbon emission a country can do. Second is the permit. So certain number of permits or permissions will be granted to the companies or countries which causes them to emit a specific amount of greenhouse gases. So the permit will be with regard to a specific time limit, with regard to a specific limit that will be set up with regard to the emissions of the greenhouse gases. Then third is the business. If a country or a company produces less than its permit limit, they can transfer their additional permit to other who can sell to other who needs it. Like for example, this is one country, this is another country, both has permits. Now the carbon emission limit is, you can say, 5 million ton. 5 million ton. First country has done carbon emission of 3 million ton, while the second country has done carbon emission of 5 million ton. So first is below the limit, second is above the limit. Now what the second country can do? The second country can approach the first country with regard to the permits, and the first country, because it has the quantity which of the carbon emissions which they have done is well below the required amount, so they can sell the permit of 2 million ton to the second country, and that is how things can be traded on the in the international market, and business can also be made out of it. Then fourth is the buy and sell. That is, companies that can emit more greenhouse gases can buy permit from companies who have done low emissions. They will sell it. Then incentives to reduce emissions. That is, it will allow companies to encourage reducing emissions, as they can make money by selling unused permits. Then this will also help to ensure the overall emissions stay within the limits, and the countries can be in good terms with each other with regard to the selling and buying of permits, because there are countries who will need to buy the permit from other countries, like for example the developed countries, because it is the developed countries which has basically been responsible for the carbon emissions, like for example the US, the China, the Russia. Then what is its importance? First is the cost effective. It will help finding the most cost effective ways to reduce emissions, as companies will be ensuring that they cut down their carbon emissions, so that they do not have to buy permits from other countries. Second is the flexibility. Companies gain flexibility to meet their emission reduction targets, which makes it easier for them to comply with the regulations. Third is the environmental effect. So limits are imposed on overall emissions, thereby reducing the negative impact of climate change, and this will help reduce the effect. So the negative impact of the climate change can be reduced with regard to it. Then next topic is the NTCA, that is the National Tiger Conservation Authority. So what has happened is that, what is NTCA? So NTCA we basically hear all the time, we hear in news, is because of the tiger reserves. So it is the NTCA which actually gives approval that any tiger reserve, whether it fulfills the requirement or not to be regarded as a tiger reserve, because the proposal is given by the state government, but it is the NTCA which approves it, and then the state government notifies the tiger reserve. And as of now in India there are 55 tiger reserves in total. So NTCA was constituted under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and the subsection is section 38L and the subsection 2 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. And who is the chairperson of the NTCA? It is the Environment Minister, Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister. Then there is a vice chairman also, it is Minister of State, Ministry of Environment and Forest. Then there are 3 member of parliaments also, then Secretary of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and other members are also included. What can be asked in the examination is, first of all, NTCA was constituted under which act and who is the chairperson of the NTCA, that is Environment Minister. Then NTCA derives its power from the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 and functions under the guidance of the chairman, vice chairman and members. And the chairman, vice chairman and members of the Wildlife Protection Act is who gains the power from the section 38O of the Wildlife Protection Act. Then about what is the work of the NTCA. So NTCA is a statutory body. So NTCA is a statutory body, is made by an act, that is the Wildlife Protection Act, and it comes or it works under which ministry? It is the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Then what does it do? It strengthens tiger conservation. So it basically looks into the perspective of the tiger conservation in accordance with the powers and functions which are assigned to the NTCA under the Wildlife Protection Act. And this was amended in the year 2006 also. NTCA monitors the consultation and standard guidelines, and these consultation and standard guidelines are based on the assessment of tigers, what are the conservation initiatives that has been taken and what are the recommendations that has been done. So on the basis of the assessment of tiger conservation initiatives and recommendation, NTCA monitors the situation of the tiger conservation. Then what are the major areas of NTCA where it works? That is the grassroots conservation initiative, and conservation initiative is with regard to the tiger population. Then by using the latest technological equipment, then science-based monitoring of tigers and their habitats, independent evaluation of tiger reserves, that I just told you, 55 tiger reserves, financially and technical assistance to the tiger reserves, then creating non-intervention habitat for wildlife. Too much human intervention causes problem, as already the cases of the human-animal conflict are on a rise. Then international cooperation with regard to the upcoming technologies or the R&D from the perspective of the conservation of tiger. Next comes the news, which is the Nida Colado Wangari Maathai won Champions Award 2024. That is Nida Colado Wangari Maathai. Now Nida Colado belonged to Philippines, and this award has recently been given. So the Nida Colado Wangari Maathai won Champions Award is to promote community forest management. So this award is basically for promotion of the community forest management. Be very clear with regard to this term, community forest management, how the forest will be managed. Then the name is Nobel Prize winner Wangari Maathai. So Wangari Maathai won the Nobel Prize, and the cash prize in this award is $20,000 US. And this award was established in the year 2012 by CPF. CPF is the Community Partnership on Forest. Community Partnership on Forest. And the CPF has also been joined by the FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization. So CPF Alliance has been joined by the Food and Agriculture Organization, established in 2012, cash prize $20,000 US. Wangari Maathai was a Nobel Prize winner, and it is about promoting community forest management. Now about its impact on Philippines, and the reason is that Nida Colado belongs to Philippines, and she has planted many trees in Philippines, and which has worked for the betterment of the Philippines, and that is why it is community forest management. So Nida planted trees in Philippines on a very large basis, and Philippines had suffered massive deforestation in the past, and approximately 10 million hectares of forest area lost in the 20th century, and that is where the forest management technology or the community forest management technique came to the forefront, and it actually helped the Philippines. Then MBFCMA Association. So MBFCMA Association was also formed in the year 1997, and this has been actively working to conserve around 1850 hectares of forest since the year 2002. So this was about the news or the award. So we have seen the 5 news, that is with regard to the tamarin monkey, then it was the taxonomy, then it was carbon mechanism, then it was NTCA, and this award, that is 2024, that is Nida Colado Wangari Maathai One Champions Award 2024. Now, as we have done these 5 topics which we consider very important from this week, the week that has passed by, now let us look at the practice questions. And what you have to do is what you have done last time, and that is I will be giving you 5 questions. You will give me the answer in the comment section. And how you will give me? Term is as first answer, second answer, third answer, fourth answer, and fifth answer. So the first practice question is, the IUCN status of the tamarin monkey is near threatened, endangered, vulnerable, or critically endangered. First question. Then second question is, which among the following best describes the climate finance taxonomy? Then companies performing well at the share market, types of investments and economic activities considered sustainable or environment friendly, highest carbon producing countries, or none of the above. This is second. Third question, which among the following are GHGs, that is the greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbon, or all of the above? Now coming to the fourth question, who is the chairperson of NTCA, that is National Tiger Conservation Authority? Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Prime Minister, Chief Minister, or President? Now coming to the last question, and that is the fifth question. The Nida Colado Wangari Maathai One Champions Award is associated with community forest management, climate change, Miyawaki technique, or the earth R. So these are the 5 practice questions, and what you have to do is you will give me the answer in the comment section. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing, and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.